Hello, welcome to Beyond the Edge. I'm your host, Brandy Deutsch.
Hi, I'm Dede DeMayo, your co-host, Light, Love, and Blessings. I just want to say we might be back to normal this week. We're both here. I just want to say. So thank you, Brandy, for coming back from vacation.
It's been a crazy few weeks. I mean, you had some things go on. I had some family things go on. Then I left for vacation and let me tell you, it was really interesting. We went to Florida and there was a tropical storm, right? And it was so hyped up. Everybody was so, oh my gosh, there's a tropical storm coming in Florida, da, 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 da. My parents were calling, my friends were calling, are you doing okay? I'm like, I checked in intuitively right when I heard about it and I got, it's going to be nothing. That's what I got. It's going to be nothing. Don't even worry about it.
Right.
And so when the news and all these, it gets people all hyped up, you got to just kind of say, okay, let's check in. What's really going on? Is it as bad as all that? And most of the time, 98% of the time, it's not as bad as all that, right?
Right.
So
I mean, it's crazy because it's so much storm planning, and it's wise to be prepared.
Absolutely.
But not fear. I mean, and that just seems to be what the news wants to do, because you can't think straight when you're in fear for any situation. So
exactly. And if you have a plan, then ease your mind.
Right.
Connect to Creator. Know that everything's taken care of, and just go about your life. And we had such a great time. When it was raining, we had fun. When it wasn't, we had fun. It was such a great time. So I feel blessed. I feel very excited to be back, because it's been crazy. And so coming back feels very, very settling now. Now it's like, oh, it's nuts. Okay, now we're good. And I'm really glad that we're doing this particular show right now, because it fits in perfectly with us coming back into our groove.
Right.
And I named today's show Reducing Boulders to Pebbles with EFT, because when obstacles look so big, it's so hard to just get your center, to find your center. It can be overwhelming. We both went through some of that.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be big ones. It can be a lot of little ones, and you're just being pulled different directions. And that's what I was experiencing. And I just, I felt like the scarecrow in the movie with Michael Jackson, The Wiz, and he had just had all of his, stuffing shredded everywhere by the flying monkeys. I was like, well, that's me everywhere. I wouldn't, I didn't know where to start putting myself back together.
It's true. It can pile up so fast, and you don't have enough time to know what to do next.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to introduce our guest today, because she has been helping people do that very thing for a really long time. And so her name is Christine Bernat. I hope I said it right.
She said Bernat.
I got it.
Are we bringing her in now from the waiting room?
Yes, go ahead. And hi, Christine. I'm gonna tell you about Christine before we start talking to her. Christine is a certified professional master EFT practitioner, trained with Deborah Lindsay, and she's a member of the Association of Emotional Freedom Technique Professionals, as well as she's taught for more than 25 years as an elementary school teacher, which gives her insight on how to relate to children. And she easily and adult children too, by the way. And she easily connects and guides children so that they can understand themselves, identify, express, and liberate their stuck emotions. As an intuitive empath, she has learned to trust her instincts through the EFT transformation process. And her job is to guide you on your journey to heal yourself. So welcome. This is perfect timing, Christine.
Welcome. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you, Brandy and Dede, and I'm very excited to share some amazing things that I'm working on now.
Yay! And this is your first appearance on a live show, is that right?
Alive, yes. Well, I've been on some Facebook groups, but I would say this is the one where I'm the calmest as well, because I have been working on that fear of being seen, which was really big in me. And so I'm very excited.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it's interesting, the fear of being seen. What ran through my head at that moment was you're not able to control who sees you in this instance. And so that's really, letting trust come out, being live like this, or even something that's recorded and put out later. You can't control who watches it or their thoughts or their opinions. So you totally have to be, grounded and in trust to step out. So we're glad to have you and with the debut.
Yay, welcome.
Awesome.
Welcome.
So much.
It's an honor. It's such an honor. So, can you, Christine, for our audience members who have never heard of EFT and who don't know what it is, can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yes. Well, EFT is a technique that as you tap on meridian points, so there are many different meridian points at different places on the body, and it sends a message to our amygdala, which is our fight or flight response mechanism, and it calms it down. So as you're thinking about what's stressing you, and then you are calming it down, well, then you just, all of a sudden this shift will happen and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not afraid of that anymore. I'm good. And for some things, like the fear that I had of being seen and being on TV, and I mean, the last video I did, I was jumping like this. I was so nervous. So I can tell that I'm much calmer now. But there's so many layers and layers and layers to certain issues that we have. And as a certified master practitioner, I'm really lucky because, I continued getting certified because I needed to heal myself. I had this deep inner calling to just heal myself because I had gotten myself into such a big hole. I needed to get out of there.
That's amazing. And that, I think for a lot of people, that's how it starts, right?
Yeah.
Like something's going on and something works for us. And we just go, oh my gosh, I have to know more. And I need to show other people because right. And when it's no, and that's just our catalyst for our own healing. And then we move into helping others with it. A lot of us, so many of us, this is what we're doing. So tell us, with EFT, what kind of things can EFT help people with?
Oh, almost anything and everything if you're willing to do it and invest time, is my opinion. There is, I released some early childhood trauma from that I didn't even know I had. It was as I was getting certified as a master practitioner that it came up, and then I had many aspects to look at, and I used, like, we have a technique not to re-traumatize the client. So I practiced on myself first. So I knew that if I could not re-traumatize myself, I knew I would not re-traumatize the client, right? So that to me is so important. And also, I'm finding that some clients are showing up and they've talked about it and it's not working. So you don't have to talk about it. I can help you release without you needing to talk about it, which is really nice as well for some people who don't want to talk about it. It's a private matter, or you're talked out of it. Right?
Or you can't. Dede had some experience recently where she's like, I can't even.
Yeah, there was just so much I couldn't even, it would be like, really, that's going on? Nah. It was just so bizarre. And yeah. And it every time you talk about it, it was like trauma. It's like, yes. No, I don't even want to do that. So let me just not.
and I totally agree with you, Dede. Yeah, no. And I have an intuitive coach that works with me because I'm part of Journey of the Healer now as well in the last year and a half, because EFT got me to such a level, but I wanted to go deeper. I had this need to go deeper. And I discovered I had all these gifts that I had never used. I was 54 and I had never used these gifts.
Wow.
So it really was time for me. And I love the EFT because I'm incorporating it. And when the teacher is teaching me something that it's like, I can't even comprehend, I just tap away and do my technique, my EFT technique, so that I can embrace and really integrate the new lesson. So for me, it's like really amazing to be able to incorporate these techniques. And it has made my EFT work so much more, I would say, powerful and deeper. And layers are coming off of people and without re-traumatizing them, right?
Yeah.
Because I can tell and I can sense things, and these gifts that I have that I can use now, I'm happy I can use them now. And I know how to use them in the right place at the right time. And I know how to, for example, in the air, we know there's water molecules, right? I mean, we don't see them, but we know there's water in the air. Sometimes we can feel it because it's so humid outside, right? Compared to other times. Well, energy is the same thing. It's everywhere. And I could feel it. And I didn't know I could feel it because I wasn't aware of it and I wasn't paying attention to it. So I was always in everybody's energy or feeling other people's energy. So I was always sick. I was always off. I was always angry, or whatever the emotion that was going around, I was picking up.
Right.
So now I know how to stay in my own energy, which is so mind-blowing to be able to just do that.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that happens with so many empaths. They don't know that they're being affected by other energies around them, and to be able to have their safe container and to know how to stay in their space is huge. A lot of people don't know how to do it, but you're saying with EFT, it's simple, right?
Well, with the EFT and with the energy modalities that I'm also learning, I've incorporated both of them, and it makes it a lot. Oh, it's like I can teach everybody a quick trick. Okay, right now.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's do it.
Stand up so you can see better.
Okay.
So if you put your hand right here on your upper belly, okay, and you just felt an emotion, or somebody walked in the room and all of a sudden you got angry, you put your hand there and you ask, is it mine? And you notice, does your body relax? Does your body get stay tense? Does the, sometimes we get this feeling in the pit of our upper stomach. Is it still there? And if it isn't, well, it wasn't. If it goes away, it is not yours. And that is so amazing to be able to do that. And of course, I've got all other tricks and stuff, but that's one of the simplest and easiest ones that I learned in the beginning, to know if it's my energy or someone else's energy.
That's a great thing to ask, for sure. Because when we take on other people's emotions or, feelings, to know if it's ours or not is really a good question. Because if it's not, then we can let it go, right? Exactly. We can choose to let it go or not.
Well, we become aware, and we can just keep our hand there if we're in a conversation that is stressful. Only when our hand's not there, well, we know to put our hand there and stay in the conversation and not be stressed about it. It's only the other person's stress that I'm feeling. Right. As an empath, being very sentient this way. So going shopping. I mean, going shopping is a perfect example of when you need to. I see Dede talking.
I hate it. I'm like, they need to let me reserve it just a couple hours. Go somewhere. It's like, wow, really?
Dede's time.
I feel you. So cross your arms or put your hand there and go shopping. It's a whole new experience. And I have other tricks, that people can learn. And
that's awesome. Well, I'm hoping that you can give us a demonstration of EFT in a couple minutes, because we really want to. I really like people to see and experience what you do. So, Christine, you and I had a session. You allowed me to have the experience, and I've done EFT before. I really like it. It's something that I feel is a great technique. It's an amazing tool. There's so many great healing modalities out there. And EFT, I really believe, is one of them, right? Yeah. And so when you and I had a session, we worked on my allergies, and we also worked on happiness, which was really, both something that I don't lack happiness in the daily sense, but like, I'm not as happy as I used to be. I don't know why. Yeah, so it's valid, right? And so bless you, Dede.
Thank you.
And so when we did our session, and then shortly after, a couple of things happened, and then I went on vacation. And I got back. I know there's something in the house I'm allergic to, right? I don't know what it is. I still have to go to my naturopath and figure it out. But when I came back, I felt it was significantly less than what it usually is. Yes. So what we did really helped. And last night, my husband and I had a date. And it was really a lot of fun. We had a great time. I was like, wow, I feel really good. You know, I feel really happy right now. So that was another thing that clued me, like, wow, okay, I really think that the work that Christine, it wasn't work, it was more like play. But what Christine and I did really helped, right? And that's what I love about these healing modalities and the energy medicine that we know about. It doesn't have to be grueling work. It doesn't have to re-traumatize. You can go through an experience and come out feeling refreshed and feeling elated and feeling like, wow, that did not feel like a bunch of hard work. Because if you've been to therapy, right? If you've been to therapy, it can be grueling and really challenging and difficult. I mean, you're really having to pour your heart out sometimes, and it's not fun. And some therapy is, don't get me wrong. Some therapists are amazing and they're absolutely incredible. But I consider, EFT one of those great modalities, energy medicine modalities that is fun and it's easy and you can have a good time with it. You can laugh at yourself, right? And you can feel like you're doing something for yourself. Tell me, I want to talk a little bit about the Meridian Lines, because part of EFT is you're tapping and you're stimulating Meridian Lines in the body. Yes. So I know a little bit about some of that, but I don't know a lot. Do you know specifically why the Meridian Lines that we use and why we tap on those ones?
Oh, well, the ones that I used with you were the simple ones, right? We didn't, there are so many different Meridian Lines. I mean, an acupuncture would be acupuncture would be the perfect person to answer like all these questions on. I just keep it simple. I have learned in life to complicate my life, and now my motto is keep it simple. Because yes, it is nice to know scientifically, and you can quickly Google Meridian Lines and EFT and get lots of information for all those people. And I know I'm diverting your question a little bit, because it just worked and I went with it. Okay. And I mean, when I learned it few years back, I learned all that stuff, and I said, you know what, Christine, do you need to remember this when you're with the client? And I don't need to remember this. What I need to know, well, I know that, there's certain points for certain, like anger is the point under the eyes. And I've had a lot of clients that have anger, so they will be doing a lot of tapping under the eye, or just touching with hardly any pressure will help. But I just wanted to bring back to the part where you said therapy. People who are going through therapy and that are also working with me, I will say, go see your therapist, then come and see me. Because the therapist stirred the pot, right? And then I'll just help you release it all. And then you can feel great. And I know I bring my personality into that. I don't know if all EFT practitioners love to laugh and have a great time during the session, but I think it's so important to just have fun. I was such a stressed out person for so long that now it's just easy for me. And I'm finding the clients are really, really enjoying that part of who I am. So I just naturally, it's just naturally who I am. Yeah. Because I've learned to just be myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So a quick question about, because you saying about having fun makes me think of children, your work with children. So you worked in the school with elementary school children. What ages did you work with?
I worked mostly at the grade 5 level most of my career. I started in '89 and I resigned in 2019. And however, we are hired to just teach math, art, science, French, English. wasn't hired to teach EFT. It wasn't hired, and it wasn't my mandate. And as I was discovering how powerful this tool was, I really felt it was important to bring this. So, and EFT for teachers is a bit complicated to learn that whole process and go through that training. So what sort of brought about change is I developed a new technique that is so much easier to do. And if you would like, I would take you both to experience this the beginning of this technique.
Yes.
So that you can see, and people who are viewing it, I invite you to really just experience it with us. So it's a 2-year-old can do this. Okay. So you just want to find the point here. So here's my collarbone. I'm just sticking it out a bit so you can see it better. There's the knob and just a little bit off. Oops, the screen is opposite. Yeah. So below the bone, below this clavicle. Okay. So I want you to you just tap gently, or if you don't like tapping, if you're with somebody who's highly or hypersensitive, they can just touch. Now, the other day I met a young lady, a 12-year-old, and she was like, I can't do this. It just, okay. So we went here on the collarbone, on the sternum at the heart level. So you can choose whichever point works for you. I'm going to use this one because it's easier to see it in the live. And then you just take a nice deep breath, paying attention to the air going through your nostrils and down into your lower belly, if you're able to. As you keep tapping, and then you release and you exhale. So I want you, do you have a challenge to quickly release negative emotions, thoughts, or feelings? I mean, quite a few people do. So generally, most people can do it in 9 to 90 seconds. So I want you to think of a quick, an emotion that isn't too high that you have, or a feeling right now that you would like to release. So you have that in your mind. Okay, and out of 10, this is your scale. So from 1 to 10, 10 out of 10, it's really strong in you, or 0 out of 10, you're not feeling it. So you need to take something else, right? So where are you on that scale? I'm just going to ask you where you are on the scale. Dede, where are you on that scale?
Probably a 7.
About a 7. Thank you. And Brandy?
I'm a 6.
You're a 6. Okay. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Visualize the situation. You can close your eyes if you'd like to see it better. Relax the shoulders and exhale for 4. And then you scan your body. Notice, do you feel tension somewhere? And then you breathe in for 3. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the back, and exhale for 4. Scan your body again. Breathe in for 3. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the head if you need to, and exhale. And tune in again. Out of 10, where are you at with what you chose?
I'm at probably a 3 now.
And Brandy?
I got a 4.
Mm-hmm. So Dede, you went down 4 points, and we did it 3 times. So imagine if you can continue doing it. And Brandy went down 2 points. And sometimes when we do it, if we don't have full awareness, as we are tapping, it calms our amygdala, and we have more awareness of other aspects of it, other implications that this issue we chose, and it might go up a little bit and then back down. So you need to persevere through. Some people might need to do it for 5 minutes, but generally speaking, from 9 to 90 seconds. And children, I have done it with an 8-year-old, and he's like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, we did it once, twice. He says, I'm not afraid anymore. I can do it. Okay. I said, pick something else. And then he's like, I'm done. Okay, next, let's pick something else.
I was about to ask that. Like, are children generally aware? I mean, I feel like they are, right? Because they don't have as much stuff as we do. But go ahead.
If I can interrupt, they don't have as much stuff as we do maybe in the baggage, emotional baggage we're carrying. But in the energetic baggage, they have been connected to us energetically since they were conceived. So they have the energetic baggage. So that's why it's so important to help them see what belongs to them, what doesn't, and have all these tricks. So this technique that I created called Snap, Set, Go evolves, and you build on with each level that you do, so that you can have more releasing power.
That's really great, Christine, because I mean, energetic baggage is very interesting that you say it like that, because in my mind, I'm thinking that when we use theta healing, it's in the DNA. It kind of comes over with the DNA, and it's almost as if, and that can be changed too. I mean, anything can be changed because it's all energy, right? Yeah. And so whenever we say, okay, this is the kind of like the platform, children are just learning how to build, you know, that perception and that their experiences on that platform of whatever the energetic DNA has. And so to say, yes, we carry it over, it's potential, right? Energy is potential. So that potential for whatever it is there unless we release it.
Exactly.
So it's very interesting.
And as you release it, it has such a freeing, like you just feel so, for me anyway, I feel so calm, I feel so free, I feel so peaceful. And that's why I have, and now, because when I first was aware of my mission a year and a half ago, like I went into panic mode. It was like, Christine, you're going to help millions of children around the world. And I'm like, yeah, right. How? I mean, you know, I'm this nobody.
That's awesome.
There's no way I'm helping millions of children. And then I was like, well, I need help. Then when I accepted it, you know, went into it and I said, well, I need help to do this. And Snap, Set, Go just sort of happened. And it's a technique that I also started developing so that my clients could use it between appointments with me. Because remembering all the tapping, okay, we're tapping here, now we're tapping there, now we're tapping there, and then we're going here, you know, and then, and it's like, and that's
great. So it's kind of like a shortcut. That's awesome.
It's really, it doesn't replace the full EFT protocol at all. And I want to be very, very clear on that.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But it's a quick, easy, fun way of doing it. Just for your everyday little, you know, bumps on the road.
Right.
Like, you know, you ask mom or you ask dad something and they snap back because they're stressed out. Well, if you have this tool where you can go in your room with your teddies and just take a deep breath and release and exhale. I mean, wow.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you, Christine?
Well, www.onlineefttransformation.com. And I just got my new snapsetgo.art link, domain link to that as well. So you can choose whichever website link to connect with me. And of course, you can email me at efttransformation@gmail.com.
Excellent. Perfect. And so you do private sessions. Do you also do group sessions? Do you have a group?
Yes. I have a group right now, Thursdays at 4:15 Eastern time. And there's room for 1 or 2 people to join in because I keep it small.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, Christine, this has been amazing. This has been great. I want to tell so many people about you, especially those that I know who have children. You know, Dede, I was thinking of Hey when she was talking about how easy this is and anybody could do it. And it's just simple and it's awesome. Christine, thank you so much for being on our show. It has been great getting to know you and to know how people can use EFT for something very simple.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Awesome. All right. So for Dede, myself, we want to wish you all long life and vibrant health. Thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste.
Bye, everyone.